Hello, welcome back to Oliver's Greenhouse. And it's a very contrasting weather day today. Despite all the extremely hot weather the UK has been experiencing, it's a properly dark, miserable and overcast typical weekend. And I've just got back from holiday. I was down in Cornwall for a week, having a lovely time down there. The weather was amazing. So I'm back to the greenhouse, and my first reaction on opening up the greenhouse was that everything survived and is in fine fervour, doing very, very well. The next thing that really hit me was actually how messy and disorganised the greenhouse was. So I thought to myself, well, what better way to spend a rainy Sunday afternoon than completely stripping, cleaning and sorting out the greenhouse, because it is properly disgusting in there at the moment, and I really want to see if I can sort of make more space by tidying up, getting rid of some of those things that don't necessarily have to be in there. So that's basically what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to go around quickly and open up all the vents and open the shade cloth, lift the shade cloth off the top so we can actually see, so there's some light. And I'm basically going to be getting everything out. I'm going to leave it out in the rain today because it's nice and mild, but at least it can get some. That's really in the way. At least the leaves can get washed off and get tidy. The plants can be a bit refreshed. Give everything a good clean, and then sort out what's okay and what really needs repotting. So things like the big Nepenthes ventrata needs looking at, because it's just all leggy and it's kind of stopped pitching in the upper part of the vine, and I don't think it likes the media it's in at the moment. So I want to whip that out, maybe take some stem cuttings, think about replanting, but basically set aside the plants which need to be looked at later this week. So that's basically what this video is going to be about. Not hyper exciting. There's a few cool things which are in flower. We'll have a look as we go along, but it's basically going to be the process of sorting out basically the whole greenhouse and changing the setup as well, so I can make a bit more out of the space that's available to me. So yeah, let's get on with that now. Okay, so this is not a task that I particularly enjoy. However, it's one of those things which is instrumental to running a greenhouse which is healthy, not full of horrible viruses and fungi, and it's one of those things that will leave you with a real sense of satisfaction. Well, certainly I really enjoy it. It's one of those things that once it's done, there really is something about walking back into a freshly clean greenhouse which is just so satisfying. So on with the day. The first task to do is obviously to hoof everything out that I can possibly lay my hands on, which is close to my feet. This gives you the space to move freely around the greenhouse, and I'm just rolling up some of the blinds outside to allow a bit more light in. I've put the washing line up in the background there because lots of my mounted orchids have got little hooks on the back of them, so it's very easy just to lift them out, especially the hanging ones, and just hang them on that. It's also raining lightly outside as well, so it's going to give the leaves a good wash off and sort of refresh the plants. They genuinely look better once they've been outside for a little bit. I don't know whether that's a psychological thing or whether it is genuinely because they've been able to transpire naturally and they've had a good clean. So once all that's outside, I'll be able to expose the shelving and give that a really good clean down and a disinfect as well, because this is about the only time you ever get a chance to do that. Once all the orchids are out, it's time to start moving the carnivorous plants out. There goes the massive Nepenthes ventrata. I'm joined by my loyal companions, Harry in his football kit and Emma as well. Both the kids love getting involved in anything to do with the greenhouse, even medial tasks such as cleaning it out, repotting stuff, kicking stones around, putting things in the greenhouse that really shouldn't be in the greenhouse. They love it in there, and I actively encourage that. I'm really count myself very lucky to have this little growing space in the back garden. It's not a very big back garden, but it gives the kids another dynamic to learning, and also a space to, I don't say play, but supervised play is probably more sort of an accurate description. So Emma and both Emma and Harry carrying the plants out, sticking them on the trays which you shifted earlier. I gave them a clean off with the hose, and they're just popping some bits outside like that. Now we've nearly cleared this benching off now. I'm leaving the tray of Nepenthes till last because they sort of grow into each other's pots. They produce new pictures, and I've snapped newly emerging pictures off countless times. And also the trays are full of water, which is a bit mangy. I find I end up cleaning the water trays at least in the summer maybe once a week. In winter less than that, because the algae blooms and you get this sort of scummy stuff going across it. It's really, really horrible. So you need to change that water quite regularly. And now we're coming to the final tray of Nepenthes. I'm sort of precariously picking them up, moving them one by one, and they're going outside onto a table where they can't easily be damaged, and we'll be safe whilst I get on with the rest of this. Okay, so onto the wet bit of the cleaning down of the greenhouse. I've just got the jet on the hose. I'm going around and just blowing any loose bits of leaf, any bits of potting media which I've knocked out of the pots, certainly out of the mounds. I've managed to get some water on the lens of the camera there, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. But I've just turned all the electrics off. That's really important when dealing with water in any sort of proximity to electrics. This just gives me an opportunity to sort of like get things moist in the greenhouse, get any of the algae which is growing lubricated. I'm now moving in with the spray bottle, and this is just dilute bleach in here, so it's just warm water with just normal domestic household bleach in it. And what I do is I spray everything, even up on the ceiling, get the whole inside of the greenhouse, not the electrics obviously, coated in this. And what that does is it kills all the algae off, and sort of makes it easier to remove a bit later on. I'll leave it on for a few moments whilst I get on now and re-level the gravel, because where you walk in and out over the season, it sort of gets dislodged, you end up with furrows, and the slabs have become a lot looser. So just by raking it in, it sort of re-stabilises the slabs and makes everything nice and tidy. It's so easy for it to get kicked around, plus the kids throw it all over the place. Once that's all sort of neatened up, I'll be sort of moving on to the next stage, which is grabbing the scourer and giving the what do they call it, staging and shelving, even the windows, a good wipe down, and that dislodges and removes any of the algae that's there. I keep disappearing outside every now and again to just clean that sponge off so I'm not spreading stuff around. There's still loads of muck over everything, but it will need removing properly with another spraying off with the jet wash in a bit, just giving the last of the windows a wipe down. Moving on to the orchid side, get all that lot cleared up. You can see the algae disappearing. There's my wife, my beautiful wife, very rarely on camera. It may even be a first Oliver's greenhouse. Harry and the kids, get them out of there. Jades fluid time. Now this is I don't know if you guys have it in America. It's like a chemical that is used for disinfecting public toilets and other places that are really grimy. And I just spray it on the lower half of the greenhouse. Don't get it up on the staging, and it just kills any bugs, viruses, fungi, plants, anything that lives basically, and really keeps the greenhouse nice and clean.
Okay, so I've finished comprehensively cleaning the whole greenhouse. Everything's been bleached, washed down. The last stuff that I was putting on the floor, the Jades fluid, is absolutely key if you can withstand the stink. Stink lasts for about 3 to 4 days, but that stuff will kill anything. It kills wood lice, worms, anything that breathes, bird flu, other viruses, everything. So what I tend to do with that is I tend to put that on the floor. Another really good thing about Jades fluid is slugs and snails. It either kills on contact, and they also can't bite it, so it's really, really good to keep them out of the greenhouse. And same thing with wood lice as well. They can't stand it, so I just make sure I keep it on the floor down here. If it goes up the sides a little bit, I just go around with the hose and just hose that bit off afterwards, and that works an absolute dream. So the next thing to do is to start cleaning the trays, moving the plants back in. The plants will be watered as they come back in. And before they go in as well, everything's going to get sprayed with pyrethrum 5-ENC or whatever it's called, that organic stuff which kills aphids and other sucking things. I haven't had an outbreak, there's nothing on any of my plants, but it's just a precaution. It's a good idea because I'm not planning on cleaning the greenhouse again now till sort of after winter. So, you know, it's going to spend the next 7 months sort of buttoned down, or, you know, in its growing state. So anything that comes in now gets nuked that way. Some things may sulk a little bit, but in a couple of weeks' time, they'll all pick back up again and be completely fine, as long as you keep it off the flowers. In fact, I find it's had like 0 impact on the plants, as long as it's the right dilution. And that just means that if there's anything that's picked up whilst plants have been out there, or there's anything hiding away I didn't see, it's going to get wiped out before it gets back in the greenhouse. So yeah, a few really good tips there. So I'm going to get on with that now. The greenhouse already looks a lot, it absolutely reeks of Jades. It smells like a public toilet. It's absolutely disgusting, but it's really worth doing. So, and I've evened all the gravel out, done all the stones. So yeah, it's going to look really smart once it's all done again.
On with the final stage, moving the plants back in, easily the most gratifying portion of the day. Love the way the plants swing in high speed there. Just picking them up, off the washing line, popping them back in the greenhouse.
Okay, I've finished at long last. It takes about 4 hours to get the greenhouse spickety span, but now everything is back in here, nice and clean, reorganised. I feel like I feel good for the fact that it's had a good tidy. It looks so much smarter. I'm just working out where that drip has just come from. I think it just came off the plant onto the back of my head. Anyway, so yeah, I feel a sense of relief. Once I've tidied the greenhouse, it's all tidy like this. It just feels so much better. It's a nice place to walk into. It's less frenetic. There's less stuff sort of like spread all over the place, causing me a nightmare. So it looks a lot better, and it's given me a chance to reorganise some things. So I hope you enjoyed this short little video. Stay tuned, and if you feel like giving us a thumbs up down below, it'd be much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe for my channel for more content coming your way soon. Thanks for watching.